Good evening. Ralph E. Hartman here out on the Beneva roadside. Candidate for Congress, U.S. Representative, 17th District. Hope everyone's having a good evening so far. Like I said before, I get subjected to a lot of corrupt interference. It's kind of difficult to explain, but many people have witnessed that there is oftentimes loud disruption from traffic broadcasting, etc. Well, a while ago, one of the old men that participates, I don't know who he is, but he really is very insistent, and he is provided so he can be, pervasive about getting into whatever area sounds are available. Started rampaging, saying that he and others had even been something of seismic testing about thinking that the United States was supposed to have experienced all-consuming waves, that the nation was supposed to have been flooded. Well, the belief that our nation was supposed to be underwater is really ridiculous. Obviously, the nation is supposed to be above water instead. But anyway, the old man is really insistent, and one thing he said was that he wanted to have symbolism of waves all over his buses. And I don't know what city or town that he might be from, but he's talking about putting symbolism of ocean waves and maybe even the words "the wave" on buses. I don't think it's here though. I don't think he means in this town, but wherever. So anyway, it reminded me of a trip that I made to Denver recently, back in August of 2021. Well, I traveled on the Amtrak to Denver. I was there for 8 nights, left on the 9th night. The train was delayed a few hours, but got underway. But by the time the train was arriving to Illinois, they were hours behind schedule, unfortunately, though it was a comfortable ride. And so we had to get off to a small town in Illinois, and get on a Trailways bus for the rest of the route to Indianapolis. So anyway, the Trailways bus was a comfortable ride also, but there was maniacal ranting in the sounds that followed me from elsewhere, causing a lot of difficulty and reminding me that I had seen, I forget the exact detail, forgive me, I would correct if I was wrong, but it was either the particular bus that I was on, Lincoln Trailways, or it was another one sometime after that had symbolism of a wave on it, and maybe the word "the wave" on it. And I kind of wondered about that right away. Why would they want to have buses traveling the plains, the Great Plains, having a slogan of "the wave" on it? So that was worrisome to me. And the Lincoln detail, of course, points back to Lincoln, Nebraska. And that reminds me, of course, where my allegedly deceased father had been from. And the fact that here in the area where I live in Sarasota years ago, there was one or more occasions where an old man of constant abuse, harassment that disrupts against me having any progress in life had said that he was from the auspices of Lincoln, the Lincoln Diocese, Lincoln, Nebraska. So anyway, another detail was that this trip in August of 21 back to Denver was the first time since I had been to Denver since 1992. Back then, I traveled back to Sarasota on the Greyhound bus, and forced to homelessness by the loud disruption again. And without any suspicion and only a friendly attitude, I started spending some nights on the property of Incarnation Catholic Church. Well, what I didn't know until many years after was, months later, in 1993, when I was on the property of the Catholic Church, there were various other reasons, various other progressions were occurring that I wasn't made aware of about me being on the property of a Catholic church. So it's what the detail was is that the Pope ended up traveling to Denver, and that they had meetings at World Youth Day in Denver's Mile High Stadium. And I read a book about that since, and that it said that as when the Pope arrived in a helicopter to Mile High Stadium, that it was alleged that there was a lot of turbulence in the air that the Pope suspected was from the youths in the crowd cheering, and maybe, I don't know whether he was saying that there was turbulence that he was resenting, or that he was glad that there was a lot of cheering for him. But something else about the crowd that it was advertised, that it was said, is that many priests were in the crowd, and they repeatedly did a maneuver known as the wave. So you see that there is a difficulty about there being any prediction about the nation being underwater. Persons that represent God are supposed to be shepherds of the people, for all the people being saved instead. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring the matter to your attention for people being safe, and that there be sanity, understanding that the dry land is supposed to be the dry land except for when the rains come, and that everyone's supposed to be safe. Have a good night.